What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video on the Concerned Sports Fan YouTube channel. Today, guys, football is back. Sort of. The NFL schedule was released Wednesday, and today we are going to be discussing a little bit about it. Now, I am not going to go team by team, give you guys their records, and give you guys the whole rundown on how every team is going to do. What I plan to do today is I will go week by week, and I will give you guys the games to watch, give you guys a little information about the teams, and give you guys some insights and some news of what's going on with the teams throughout the schedule, and give you guys my games to watch. So now 17 weeks in the season, so I don't want to jabber on too much, so let's get into it. Now, before I begin, the NFL has stated that they kind of did screw up this year when it came to the scheduling. Two teams have been screwed over very heavily, one team being the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the other team being my Oakland Raiders. Both teams will go 49 days without having a home game, guys. 49. That's insane. After week 2, the Raiders do not have a home game until week 9. And that's only if you count the London game that they have week 5 as a home game, which unfortunately the NFL schedule does. But, I mean, if you're going to have a game in Oakland considered as a home game, and you're giving us London instead, I mean, give us that break in the middle so where we don't have to fly everywhere and then have to fly straight to London to play a home game. We already have the toughest schedule in the whole league. We have to travel the furthest because we have to go to London, and we have to go to about 4 East Coast games.
I got a belly full of white dog crap in me. And now you laid this shit on me?
You guys are throwing this on us? 49 straight days without a home game. That is brutal. And Tampa Bay is on the exact same boat as we are. 49 straight days without a home game. After week 3, they will not have a home game until week 10. That's insane. The NFL did come out and say, we wish we can do it again, because both teams kind of did get screwed over. For the Raiders, it was kind of our own fault because we didn't decide on where we were going to play until last month. And when it came to the Buccaneers, the NFL just kind of dropped the ball on that. So, yeah, it's going to be rough. But let's get into the schedule, guys. I will go by week from 1 to 17, and we will talk about them as they come along, and I will tell you guys what is my game to watch for each week. I have my computer set up in front of me, so if I look down and you guys see me doing that, don't worry about it, just looking at my notes. So let's get into it. So getting into week 1, we open up the season September 5th. Yes, September 5th, 5 months away, guys. September 5th, that's the day. Mark that in your calendar, September 5th. That is the very first opening game of the NFL season. We have Green Bay and Chicago kicking off the 100th season of football. Not just the NFL, but football. The two most historic teams in the NFL will kick off the historic season number 100. And they will be playing that in Soldier Field, which is probably one of the more historic fields in the NFL. So week 1, the game to watch, potentially aside from Green Bay, Chicago, is going to be Pittsburgh versus New England. Now, both teams have a lot of questions to answer. How do Pittsburgh move on without AB and Le'Veon Bell? And how did the Patriots move on without Gronk? Tom Brady's biggest target now gone, and the same thing for Ben Roethlisberger. AB is gone, Gronk is gone. Who are going to be the two players to fill those voids for their respective teams? We'll see how it goes down. So week 2 is a bit of a no-brainer, guys, for when it comes to game to watch. We have the Saints going to visit the Rams. And if you guys know what happened between these two teams in the NFC Championship game, you know this is going to be a pretty heavy matchup. And if you haven't seen what happened with them before, here's a clip to show you what happened.
10. Quick snap. Breeze. Pass is incomplete. No flag for Tommy Lee Lewis. Nikel Roby-Coleman delivered a hit. And the two officials talk to each other. Crowd's going crazy as there's no flag right on the Saints sideline.
Yeah. So if you don't think that New Orleans has revenge on the brain, you are wrong. They're going to go there to show that they should have been the team to go to the Super Bowl and face New England. So that's going to be a really, really tough game not to watch. It's going to be probably the game of the season. And it's only week 2. So just putting that out there. So in week 3, there's not really that many standout games that I can say you guys need to watch this game. It's going to be great. 2 games that I can see being pretty competitive because of the teams that are there is Denver versus Green Bay. Denver just got Joe Flacco. They just got a new head coach, so we'll see how that works out. Green Bay, I mean, also same thing, new head coach, Aaron Rodgers is still there. But with New Orleans and Seattle, who Russell Wilson just signed the biggest contract in NFL history, being the highest paid player ever, it's time to put up or shut up for him for this season. And New Orleans, again, is just one of the better teams to watch throughout the whole year. So, I mean, two competitive teams is going to be a really good game to watch. Scratch that. Week 3, I just saw this on the schedule and I forgot because I forgot how good this team actually looks now. The Rams versus the Browns. The Browns have been a team before where if you watched them, great. If you didn't, you weren't missing much. But the Rams, guys, the new look Rams with Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, David Njoku, Jarvis Landry, Baker Mayfield, and now Odell Beckham Jr. They make their Sunday night debut this season against the Rams. That is going to be another great game to watch, guys. Also involving the Rams, Cleveland has about 6 primetime games this year. They have Monday Night Football week 2. Week 3 they have Sunday Night Football. And I believe they have a few more Monday and Sunday night games. So, LA Rams versus Cleveland, guys. Game to watch. Keep that in mind. Week 4 we have the game to watch is probably going to be, again, the New Orleans Saints hosting the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, New Orleans is just that team to watch. They are going to be Super Bowl favorites throughout the whole year. And because of what happened last year, they're going to be playing with a very high chip on their shoulder. So, yeah, I mean, any game that has New Orleans in it is going to be something to watch. So, Dallas going to New Orleans, they have a bit of history, those two teams, going back to a few years ago where Dallas was the team that broke New Orleans' undefeated streak the year that New Orleans won the Super Bowl. So, we'll see how that works out. I mean, other notable games, Kansas City visiting Detroit. I mean, Minnesota, Chicago. This is going to be a week where you're going to have those lackluster games where a lot of teams are just facing their in-division rivals. Nothing too crazy to watch here, guys. Pittsburgh takes the Monday night spot, and Philadelphia and Green Bay in the Thursday night spot before that. So that might be another interesting game to watch, guys. So keep an eye out for that. So now we get to week 5. This is my game to watch strictly because this is a Raider game that needs to be watched. And unfortunately, I really, really wish this game was a home game for the Raiders and not a London home game, but an Oakland home game. Because this is Khalil Mack and the Chicago Bears playing against the Oakland Raiders. And imagine how great that would have been if Chicago and Khalil Mack came to visit Oakland and Khalil Mack's home return. I mean, dude, imagine how great the Coliseum would have been roaring. It's like it's that feeling where you don't know where to boo him because he was traded away, but you don't know if you want to cheer him though because he was your player. He was our player for the longest time. I still have his jersey. I'm not one of those guys that's gonna burn their jerseys because the player left. I mean, he didn't want to sign with us. We didn't want to give him the money. It fell very different ways. But Chicago visiting Oakland is probably going to be my game to watch, apart from Cleveland having another Monday night game. That's their 3rd primetime game already. If that Chicago-Oakland game was in Oakland, man, that would have been 10 times better. That probably would have been a game I would want to attend. I'm going to try to make it to a few games. I tell myself that every single year that I want to go to at least one Raider game every year, but I never do. But this being the year that the Raiders might leave the Coliseum for good, I think it needs to happen. I don't care, but I need to make this happen this year, guys. So keep me on board and make me go to these games, guys. Tell me you want the content. Tell me you guys want me there. Week 6 is another one of those lackluster weeks where we don't have that many great games. On the Thursday night game, we have New England playing host to the Giants, and the Monday night game is the Packers playing host to Detroit. Throughout the week, we have the early game being Cleveland versus Seattle. Cleveland, again, another big-name team. Seattle, another competitive team that made the playoffs last year. Other than that, just move it along. Nothing really great to see here this week. In the Monday night game, we have New England going to New Jersey to face the Jets. Thursday night game, Kansas City goes to Denver. Another good game, another good matchup between two competitive teams. The game to watch for this week is going to be New Orleans visiting Chicago. Two competitive teams, two playoff teams from the year before who are looking to make another great year ahead of them from what they have left in the week so far. But, I mean, San Francisco goes to Washington. I mean, two teams that are probably going to struggle. San Francisco gets Jimmy G back. Washington is still trying to figure out who their quarterback is going to be this year. Also, another notable games, maybe Houston goes to Indy, Baltimore goes to Seattle, or the Chargers going to Tennessee. But we'll see how that goes. All right, this is going to be where it gets interesting, guys, because this is Week 8, And we have two really high-profile games, but only one takes the Sunday night spot. The Sunday night spot goes to Green Bay going to Arrowhead to face Kansas City. So you're going to have Aaron Rodgers go to Arrowhead against Patrick Mahomes and that crazy Chief offense. But you're also going to have, in the late game, you're going to have Cleveland visiting Tom Brady at Foxborough, which is probably one of the games of the seasons to watch just because it's a high-powered, high-talented Cleveland offense going to go visit the world champions. That's going to be a game on my radar that I'm definitely going to record and watch over and over depending on how it goes. The Chargers go to Chicago, another good game. Denver goes to Indy, and the Monday night game goes to Miami going to Pittsburgh. So guys, tell me, how do you guys feel that San Diego plays in a soccer stadium that they never sell out with their home fans? I mean, think about it. They are a team that plays predominantly 16 away games, if you think about it. I mean, every time the Raiders go to LA to play against either the Rams or to San Diego and they put against the Chargers or now the LA Chargers, Raider fans are everywhere. Imagine, guys, think about it. The Raiders used to play in LA, so to have that presence there against the Chargers, I mean, it's just it's another disadvantage for the Chargers if you think about it. 16 away games is the joke that goes around the league just because they can't even sell out a soccer stadium. I mean, they're a team that wasn't really ready to move, and not a lot of people wanted them to move, but that's a different subject for a different day. We are in week 9, so not that many games left. Game of the week to watch for this one, another kind of boring game. Kind of another lackluster week, guys. Cleveland goes to Denver. Indy goes to Pittsburgh, or Chicago goes to Philly. Either one, guys. You guys take your pick of which one you guys want to watch. The Monday night game does go Dallas visiting the Giants for a NFC East matchup, and the Thursday night game goes to San Francisco visiting Arizona. Two teams that are probably not going to be into the season by this point. So November 7th, by this time, the Raiders and Buccaneers should have their home games set by now. They spent 49 days on the road, and they deserve their home games by now, so hopefully both teams came out with pretty good results on their very, very, very long road trip. But in this week's game to watch, it's probably going to be easily the LA Rams visiting Pittsburgh. They gave the Sunday night spot to Minnesota versus Dallas. But keep in mind, guys, a lot of these Sunday night games and Monday night games don't actually stay this way throughout the whole season. If a team is doing very poorly where the NFL feels like they're not going to get the ratings that they want, they will flex games before or after. Which means that, for example, if Minnesota-Dallas doesn't expect to be a great game because both teams struggle before they get into that week, or both teams are just really bad, then they could potentially move over the LA Rams and Pittsburgh into that Sunday night slot because they feel like that's a game that's going to get more ratings. So, as I'm saying that, just keep that in mind that not all Sunday night games are official until they are played. Moving forward. So yeah, LA Rams versus the Pittsburgh Steelers at Pittsburgh. That, like I said, that could be a game that gets moved into the Sunday night slot. So we'll see what happens with them. Ooh. Right off the bat, I noticed 2 games that are going to be really, really good. 3 games that are actually going to be really good. Pittsburgh visits Cleveland in the Thursday night game. This is Cleveland's, I believe, 4th primetime game this year already. And New England goes to Philly in a Super Bowl rematch. And Chicago visits the Rams, where a very high-powered defense in the Chicago Bears visits the high-powered offense of the LA Rams. Now, keep in mind, I don't know how Todd Gurley is feeling. That's something that should be answered by week 1 or 2. Hopefully he stays healthy and these games continue as expected, because these are games that, if you keep in mind that they don't always play out like you want them to just because there's injuries in the way, but I hope it's something that continues to happen with players not being injured, because it just makes the game that much better. So this week's game of the watch in week 12, we have Dallas versus New England. Dallas will visit New England in Foxborough, where it's America's team and America's team. Fortunately, I'm not a Patriots fan. I'm a Raider fan. I don't believe in calling New England or Dallas America's team. If anything, I honestly think that the Patriots deserve it more than Dallas. Dallas hasn't done anything in a long time. Patriots are constantly in the playoffs. They're constantly in the Super Bowl. So to be called America's team, Dallas, you don't deserve that moniker. New England, if anything, should be America's team just because of the way their logo is, because of the way they win games, the way they support the president. But I digress. Let's just do this. Whoever wins this game week 12 between Dallas and New England, you guys could be called America's team. Whoever you guys want to support in that game, you call them America's team when it's all said and done, alright? I'll leave that up to you guys. So now we have Thanksgiving week. So Thanksgiving week, we're going to have 3 Thursday night games, 1 Sunday night game, and 1 Monday night game. In the 3 Thursday night games, we're going to have Chicago visiting Detroit. Pretty normal things. Those are 2 teams that always play Thanksgiving Day. Buffalo visits Dallas, another team who always plays Thanksgiving Day. And New Orleans and Atlanta, who over the last few years have been getting more of the Thanksgiving Day games, especially New Orleans recently. The Monday night game goes to Minnesota at Seattle, which is going to be a good game to watch. My Raiders go to Kansas City, which doesn't seem that great right now. But the Sunday night game does go to New England against Houston. Houston, hopefully if they have all their pieces ready and going and healthy, that's going to be a really, really fun game to watch. So for week 14, we're almost at the end, guys. Dallas goes to Chicago for the Thursday night game, which is probably going to be my game to watch for this week. I don't see anything else good that's here that's going to be one of those games that steals the show. Seattle does visit the Rams for the Sunday night game, which could be a good one. But it's not a game that I feel is going to steal the show. It's a division game. It's very difficult to get excited for a division rival game when it's teams like the Seattle Seahawks and the Rams. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're really, really good teams. But having 2 West Coast teams in a East Coast dominant market, which is the NFL, which is sports in general. If you want to be those guys who wants to get the most TV time, the most playing time, the most air time, you're going to want to go to the East Coast. They get everything earlier in terms of ratings and time and stuff like that. So the time zone just affects them a lot less. They get a lot more ratings, and I don't know. The LA Rams versus Seattle just doesn't seem that appealing to me, to be honest with you guys. We are now in week 15. Let's see. Week 15. Game to watch. I hate to say it, guys. It's probably going to be the LA Rams visiting the Dallas Cowboys in week 15. Late game that day. 4:25 kickoff Eastern time. Minnesota at the Chargers gets the Sunday night game. Thursday night goes to the Jets and Ravens. That's probably going to be a game that's going to get the lowest ratings throughout the whole year. I'm not even kidding. Indiana going to New Orleans actually will be a pretty good game to watch, to be honest, for the Monday night game. So keep an eye out for that one. All right, last 2 weeks to get through, guys. Bear with me. Week 16, I will give my game to watch to the Sunday night game. On this one looks really, really good. Kansas City visits Chicago at Soldier Field for the Sunday night game. Up at this point of week 16, I do see that there are no more Sunday night games, which a lot of people are against. Don't get me wrong, Thursday night games are good for the Thanksgiving time, Christmas time, stuff like that. But a lot of players just don't enjoy Thursday night games. It's a rest thing, it's a fatigue thing. I guess I understand fully what your body needs a lot more time to recover when you're going through that much pain and trauma in a short spurt of time. You're getting 2 games in 1 week, which for professional athletes isn't always the best when you're getting hit that hard. Soccer players do all the time. Baseball players play every single day. Basketball players play about 2 to 3 times a week. But for football, it's a lot more different. But that's another topic for another day. But yeah, Kansas City versus Chicago and the Week 16 game. I believe this is also the last Monday night game of the season. Let me double check. It is. Up until Week 17, there's no more Monday night games and there's no more Thursday night games. And it looks here that the Week 17 game to watch for me, guys, is going to be... It's a little difficult to pick because they're all division games, which I understand Week 17 you're going to want to get those final playoff spots going. But just because it's Week 17, it's the last week of the season, I will give it to my Oakland Raiders playing away at Denver at Mile High. But yeah, that's the NFL season, guys. That's week 1 through 17, my games to watch. I know this is going to be kind of a weird video because it's just me talking and looking at my computer, but I will try to make it interesting if I can. But don't worry, because the draft is next week, and I will have a couple videos draft dominant about that. I will see what the Raiders do, what the Niners do, because I do have people who watch my channel who are Niner fans, unfortunately. And also, what do I expect from the draft, guys? Who do I expect to go number 1 overall? What do I expect the Raiders to do? What do I expect? Do I expect trades to happen? And stuff like that. So keep an eye out for those videos. And before I let you guys go, I would like to thank you guys again for watching this video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to turn on post notification, guys. It really does help me out a lot. And also, don't forget to share this video. It helps this channel grow, and it gives me the motivation to get up and make these videos. So thank you guys again for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.